Orr, the most dominating offensive defenseman ever to play in the National Hockey League, who forever changed the way defensemen play this game. Bruins captain Ray Bourque has often been compared to the legendary Orr while creating a niche of his own in 13 All-Star seasons with the Bruins.
If you're looking at a defenseman, a good all-rounded defenseman, you probably think of Ray Bourque because he does the job. He plays really well on his end. Able to play physically. I take a lot of pride in trying to be the best I can in all phases of the game, and things have worked out really well for me.
One day, Bourque's number 77 will hang in the Boston Garden rafters along with that of Bobby Orr, who led the Bruins to their last 2 Stanley Cups. For Ray Bourque, a Stanley Cup is the one jewel remaining in an already illustrious career, and in Boston, the fans expect nothing less. From the Boston Garden, an ESPN special presentation of National Hockey Night as the Bruins play host to the Hartford Whalers. Where you saw the Prudential Building back inside the Boston Garden. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld, and for the second time this season, the Whalers and Bruins. Frank Pietrangelo will make the start in net, 28-year-old, only playing in his, as you see, 7th game this season. Last time was in relief. Rajon Lemelin. Andy Moog, the regular goaltender, will play tomorrow night in this back-to-back series. Lemelin in game number 6 for him, 3-2 on the season. Lemelin, a great mark, though, lifetime against these Hartford Whalers, 17-9-3. We are ready to go. Adam Oates will take the draw against Murray Craven. ESPN special edition of National Hockey Night. Delighted to have you with us. Harry Peterson centered in on the far side. Juno can now handle it. Craven's got it. Craven will be out there with Rabik and Cunnyworth on this line for the Hartford Whalers. Peterson holding it in. Problem for Hartford, putting the puck in the net. They're averaging 2.6 goals a game, next to last in the league, Jimmy. That's been the big problem.
That's why they can't make mistakes early. They don't want to get behind to these Bruins, especially at home. Boston is a very explosive team. They've outshot all their opponents except the last game, which was a 6-2 loss to the Washington Capitals. And you know they're going to come out here after being spanked 6-2 and really pour it on. Bourque's coming in now for the first shot for the Bruins. That explosive speed, the great heads-up skill of Ray Bourque, a backhand shot, pretty easy for Pietrangelo to handle. But the Bruins are going to come out firing. The Whalers want to keep this game a low-scoring game for as long as they can.
There you see the numbers for Ray Bourque, and no man in the National Hockey League has scored more points against the Hartford Whalers than Ray Bourque. He is number 1. Peter Stastny is second. Bourque in the shot. Score! And another one! Ray Bourque, 1-0.
Right off the face-off, a low screen shot goes under the pad of Pietrangelo. And the Bruins have done what they wanted to do, and the Whalers have not done what they wanted to do. Bourque's coming in, not a hard shot, but it's on the net through a maze of players. And he eludes the Whalers goaltender.
4th goal of the season for Ray Bourque. And quickly a 1-0 lead. Bourque starting the night. Tied for 10th among defensemen in scoring. And adds another goal to it. And as Jim said, that's exactly what the Hartford Whalers did not want. Adam Burke pushed it around the boards. They can't get it out of the zone. Randy Levasseur flips it up in the air, and he got nailed after he got it out of there. Levasseur hit by Brent Hughes of Boston. There'll be some hitting in these games. These teams don't like each other. Shot deflected out deep. Burke will come back to get it. Shot taken by Leach, who drives it back into the zone. And the Boston Bruins on the small ice surface, always known for physical play. Hartford knows that, knows they've got to come out and do the same. Sweeney behind the net, avoiding the check that time of Michael Nylander. Clears it around on the far side and played out by the Bruins. 1-0, Boston on top. Bourque getting it at 34 seconds into the game, and Adam Oates picks up yet another assist. Nylander's shot is blocked by Murphy. Norm Murphy clears it around the boards, not out of the zone, held in by Doug Huda. Rajon Lemelin in behind the net. He just left it there, and it's tied up. Leach tried to dig it out. Leach couldn't control. Nylander had it. He couldn't get it out in front. Bruins back the other way. Stumbled. Tipped away from Sweeney to Murphy. Murphy sends it in. And we got plenty of board banging going on early in this one. You see the little stuff that goes on behind the play right there. These two teams both in the Adams division, both out of New England, so there's a rivalry here.
Good defensive zone coverage by the Bruins in their own zone. Stumple just staying with his point man. They're staying in their spots. They're not running around. The loose puck came to him. It was a breakout for the Bruins, again taking the pressure into the Whalers zone.
There is Stumple getting some playing time here with the Bruins, who've been a bit short as far as number of players are concerned. They're missing Glenn Wesley's out of there with a bad foot. They don't know if it's broken or not. Examined yesterday. They hope to find out today on that. Leach in the shot. Pietrangelo had trouble with it. Rebound sitting. Leach was after it. Couldn't get it. Shot. Weaver just missed that one wide. Boston Bruins. Jim Weaver hasn't played much this season. Almost had himself a goal on that one. The attempted clear ends up in the seats.
Gary, Pietrangelo does not look real sure to me. He looks like he's fighting the puck a little bit. He's having a difficult time controlling rebounds. He's got to settle himself down. He doesn't want to give the Bruins a 2-0 lead this early in the first period.
Pietrangelo, the backup goaltender for Sean Burke, the regular starter. His lifetime record 38-38-4. He's only played one game ever against the Boston Bruins and had a victory in that one. There is Sean Burke, acquired this season in a trade with the New Jersey Devils, and it's been a struggle. He's 4-10-1. Face-off won by the Whalers. Craven dropped it. Near side, Jansen's. Mark Jansen center. Craven had already gone by. In fact, Craven was tied up, taken out of the play. Darley Zalatsky leaves it off for Craven. Craven trying to send it in, hit Verbeek with it. Radzicka backs it up, lost it. Verbeek centering. Craven couldn't get it. Cunnyworth back up to Zalatsky. Randy Cunnyworth attempted to center, lost it, and Ray Bourque. Count the number of times he touches the puck in this game and how many times he mentioned his name will be amazing. Radzicka is out there with Hines and Donato on this line for Boston. Peterson the other way for the Whalers. 1-0 Bruins on top. We are 3 minutes into the game. Bruins are playing from behind their own net. Gord Roberts working on defense. Hines dumped it in the middle. Craven's done it. Craven will send it in. First meeting, these two teams were here at Boston. Boston won it in overtime 3-2 on October 8th. These teams play a lot of one-goal games, 17 of them in the last 5 years. Adam Oates brings it in. Oates had an assist in the first goal. He won on that one. Good play by Jamie Leach. Peterson takes the shot wide. Leach on the far side. Ladouceur able to hold it in. In the corner, played by Jeff Sanderson. In the middle, shot blocked. Leach had the opportunity, but Juno was there to knock it away. Joey Juno got a high stick in the face. No call. And a save made by Lemmelin, who didn't know where he was. Juno took a high stick. That really got a good piece of him.
Adam Oates winning the draw back to Raymond Bourque. Bourque takes a shot. You can see it go through a maze of legs here. Pietrangelo doesn't have much of a look at it. And that gives the Bruins a 1-0 lead.
Shot in on Lemmelin, cleared to the corner. Sweeney will pick it up, and we've got our first whistle. On the far side, Ron Hogarth, realizing that the hitting is picking up a little bit here. A little bit out of control, away from the whistle, in fact. Nick's decided it's time to get it under control. Hogarth working with Pierre Champoux and Gerard Gauthier, the officials tonight. And there you see Hogarth, who's being talked to by Jim Weimer, who's going to go in the penalty. No, it's not Weimer. I'm sorry. It's going to be on Sweeney. Tim Sweeney will go to the penalty box. And so the Bruins leading 1-0. First power play of the night. Opportunity is going to go to the Hartford Whalers at 3:53.
Gary, Hartford has been struggling on their power play. They're 24th overall, last in the league, 9.1%. So if they're looking to move up at all in the standings and catch the 4th place Buffalo Sabres, certainly that's an area of their game they're going to have to improve vastly.
Unbelievably ineffective power play. Murray Craven has 3 power play goals and leads the Hartford Whalers. To be in single digits on effectiveness is almost incomprehensible. Whalers have Castles working on the power play to Verbeek. Sanderson was offside. He gets back onside, but the Bruins are able to clear it out.
And Gary, this is where they have the problem, is getting it set up in the Bruins zone or any opponent's zone. They have a hard time breaking out. It seems they're all going in different directions for an easy team to forecheck.
Steve Hines, the forechecking job that time. Hines working with Dave Poulin. They're pinning him in. Craven has to dump it across ice for Castles. 1:20 left on this power play. Poulin just stepped in and took it away. Ashton out there now. Ashton goes for it for the Bruins. Remember, the Bruins are short-handed here. Zarley Zalapski, the quarterback of the power play, just coughed it up. Pietrangelo trying to play it, had Ashton move in on him. Zalapski, Hartford can't get out from behind their own net. Up and Craven. Finally, they bring it to center, but it took them a minute of the power play to do it, and they're going to be called for icing as Verbeek did not touch it on the way in.
Terrific forechecking by the Bruin penalty killers. They're attacking with good angles, but once again, you have two Whalers skating up, one Whaler skating back. They're not going as a five-man unit.
That's our Budweiser scoreboard. We'll keep you updated with the games that are going on in the National Hockey League as far as the schedule for tonight, and keep an eye on the one for this afternoon as well. There you see Brian Sutter on the bench. Poulin out of the penalty killing unit with 55 seconds left to go on it. Dave Poulin has been scoring a bit. 6 goals, 7 assists in his last 14 games. 13 points in 14 games for him. Cam Neely, of course, of the Boston Bruins, their all-star forward, out. He's been out all season. Whether he'll ever come back is a question. He has a bone problem, a calcification on the bone problem, and they don't know what to do with it. Leach, leveling the save. Davey Leach. Pietrangelo will hang on, and Burt takes it in behind the net. 28 left on the power play. Burt waiting. Both teams changing it up. 19 on the power play. Nylander. Conroy the shot, missed it wide. Petrovitsky could not hold it in. Bark gets dumped on the far side by Brent Ashton. Petrovitsky looking. In the middle, Conroy. Right-handed block. Going down with Shaw. Good play by Shaw. 1 second on the power play intended for Leach. Broken up by Shaw. Swinging out of the penalty box. Hartford 0 for 1 on the power play. Still 1-0. 13:57 left here. Juno sends it in. Oates tried to knock it down with a high stick. Couldn't get it. Peterson in behind the net. Oates hangs on to his stick. Didn't get called for it. Good check put on by Adam Buck. In the corner that time. Nylander couldn't get it. Juno shot. Didn't get in on goal. Joey Juno again. Juno in the middle. Shot by Oates. And it's set there and went behind the net. Adam Oates almost banged it in. Weimer cutting in from the point. Couldn't handle a pass. A break for the Hartford Whalers. Pietrangelo had it bounced over him. Behind him. And then Oates trying to knock it in. It ended up behind the net. Kulak, we're going to fight on the far side. Jim Weimer going at it with Mark Jansen's two heavyweights.
With Glenn Wesley already out with an injury, Jimmy Weimer is going to be a very tired defenseman for the rest of this game. That takes an awful lot out of you. Adam Oates, just before this, Gary, Adam Oates struggled to get good body position on his checker. That enabled him to be open. Junot put the puck on the tape, and he had a good shot, which eluded. Again, Pietrangelo not looking real sharp in the net.
Look at that. Behind him. If he had moved backwards a half an inch, it would have been in. Kartalnov had the opportunity also going around the net. 6:45. Weimer and Jansen's go for fighting. There you see Adam Oates, who got an assist on that goal by Ray Borg. Coming into this game, Adam Oates tied for 19th overall in scoring, and he is 10th in the league in assists. He's had 3 goals, 7 assists in his last 8 games now. Not unusual for him. Came over from St. Louis last year, and even without Mr. Hull, he continued to put the points up on the board. 1-0 Boston leading. Ashton, player down for Hartford. No whistle yet. Now we'll get one. And Hughes is being chased by half the Hartford team. Verbeek takes a shot at Ashton and knocks him down.
Gary, it all started with a boarding call against Hughes. As he ran Zalapski I don't know if they're going to give him 5 in a game. That looks like it.
He's going to go. Hughes is being escorted off the ice. This is going to be a major and a game misconduct. 5-minute power play coming up for the Hartford Whalers, and Hughes is done early for the day.
Listen to this hit by Hughes on Zalapsky. And that's why the Whalers are going on a 5-minute power play. I would love to see that eliminated from the National Hockey League. I love a good hard-hitting game. I don't even mind fights, Gary. But I would hate to see a player permanently damaged, permanently injured, or worse, paralyzed. I mean, when you go into the board's face first like that and your vertebra snaps, a lot of bad things can happen.
Well, that's why it's illegal in a game misconduct. Hughes is done for the day. Gets the 5-minute major for hitting from behind and the game misconduct. A 5-minute power play for the Hartford Whalers, who are down 1-0. And they did not convert on their first power play chance. Poulin drives Zalapsky in behind the net. So Zalapsky, who was hit, stays out there. He is all right. Shots are 5-2 in favor of the Bruins right now, even though they've been shorthanded a couple of times. And the Boston Bruins penalty killers right in the middle of the pack this season. They've given up 22 while scoring 25 on the power play. Patty Verbeek sends it in. Roberts in behind the net. Gord Roberts working with Bourque. Ted Donato moved it out of the zone. Roberts couldn't clear it though. Verbeek steps in. In the middle, shot tipped by Sanderson. Jeff Sanderson got it behind the net. Ashton tried to clear it around the boards. Verbeek stole it. Zalapsky a shot. Save Lemelin. Reggie Lemelin. One of the oldest goaltending tandems in the National Hockey League. Lemelin and Andy Moog. Lemelin being at 28 years old, and Andy Moog in his 15th National Hockey League season. Nylander's pass. Hines intercepts. Hines gets hauled down by Buck. Short-handed effort. Donato! And it was deflected wide. Charlie Zalapsky. Pietrangelo wasn't sure quite what to do with that. When he turned around, Stevie Hines was standing right there from the Bruins. Shot blocked to the boards. Leach. Leach trying to center it. Taken away by Nylander. Whalers on a power play, and they get the full 5 minutes of the power play, no matter how many times they score. Michael Nylander, the rookie, to Zalapsky. Nylander to Burt. Burt the shot. Leach trying to center. Hit Petrovitsky. Banged on by Poulin. Held in by Adam Burt. And cleared out of the zone by Shaw.
You see, Gary, once the Whalers get their power play set up in the Bruins zone, they're not bad. They just have a difficult time coming from their own end to get it set up.
Getting through that center ice, the problem.
Exactly right. Neutral zone is killing them.
Yake brings it in. First time we've had a chance to see him on the ice today. Yake will work on the power play with 2:42 left on the 5-minute power play. And the Bruins just knock it out of the zone as Gord Roberts got it. Pietrangelo will leave it. Andrew Castles will go back to get it. Whalers led by Murray Craven, 8 goals and 18 points. Jeff Sanderson also has 8 goals. Verbeek, their second leading scorers, 6 and 11. Clear the zone. Castles once again dumping it in. Nobody there but Adam Oates to clear it out. 2:10 left in the power play. Both teams change it up. Bruins leading on Ray Bourque's goal in the opening minute of this game to take the 1-0 lead. Boston has won the last 8 games these teams have played here at the Garden. And they're ahead in this one on the offside.
That's almost unforgivable. First of all, the Whalers had the puck at center. They were trying to dump it in. You've got the whole width of the ice surface. They hit a Bruin skate. It's iced. Now you're breaking up. You're on the power play, and you have a 2-line pass. Again, a bad thing. You're wasting valuable time and valuable ice when you don't get the puck set up in your opponent's zone in the power play.
Paul Holmgren, the new coach behind the bench this season for the Hartford Whalers, had been with the Philadelphia Flyers for 4 years. There you see his numbers as a head coach in the National Hockey League. Comes on with a new GM, Brian Burke. Burke says we want to make this team rough and tough, so get a Broad Street bully to be behind the bench. But they haven't been too rough and tough this season as far as their record's concerned. They have the second most penalty minutes in the National Hockey League. If that's rough and tough, I guess they've done it. Off the draw, still on a power play, the Whalers, picked up by Zarley Zalapsky. They're down to 1:50 on this advantage. Murray Craven, their leading scorer. Zalapsky Craven, Poulin, Bourque, clears.
You get to the point when your power play is struggling, when your opponent gets a penalty and you start to duck on the bench, you don't want to be the guy called to go on the ice. And that's how I'm sure a lot of these Hartford Whaler players are feeling.
Zalapsky lost control of it. Craven got it in. Bourque clears it out. That's almost like you want to turn it down. You get the option like
well you can see they're shortening their shift. They're out there 30, 40 seconds. They're coming off. You've got to be more accountable. You got to stick with it and make it work.
Sanderson's pass, a bad one. Donato cleared it out. Conroy backed around and Burke couldn't do anything with it. Pietrangelo knocks it down. A 5-minute power play. They have 1 minute left on it. And they have only had really one scoring opportunity and one shot in it. In front, shot blocked by Shaw on Castles. Castles, Leach, tipped it wide. Shaw around the boards for Dave Poulin and out again. Pietrangelo, he's handled the puck more than Lemelin has on the 5-minute Hartford power play. They'll get one more shot at it here with 37 seconds left. They're trying to get this game tied up. Conroy, the former New York Islander, and he did not hit Leach. This is the second icing on a power play by the Whalers.
Excellent Bruin pursuit in the neutral zone. Ray Bourque standing up there right with his check. The Whaler could not get the puck. Another icing call. This is a big boost for the Bruins to kill this.
That is a killer, isn't it? To the PR department, and she's even given us a cookbook today. They've done a cookbook, Boston Bruins have, which they're selling for local hockey. Cunnyworth brings it in. Cunnyworth fakes it. Cunnyworth tried to center, had it blocked. Cunnyworth tried to run that through the middle, couldn't get it by Steve Hines. And this 5-minute power play is over. The Bruins killed off all 5 minutes. And only a couple of good chances by the Whalers. Bourque will touch it up full strength from behind their own net with the Bruins leading 1-0. Poulin couldn't handle it at center ice. Stick gets up. Juno got away with one right there. Ladouceur. Randy Ladouceur. Lemelin makes the save. Kartalnov behind the net. Dmitry Kartalnov leads the Bruins with 13 goals this season. Has put on a real show, the first Soviet player ever in a Boston Bruins uniform. Yake on the near side. Kartalnov coming with it. Kartalnov sends it in wide. Into the corner, Ladouceur and Kartalnov. Behind the net, Juno, Oates, and Kartalnov working on one of the best lines in the National Hockey League right now. Cleared back in by Sweeney. They're called the Bonanza line. You remember the TV show, Little Joe? Kartalnov is Huss. Joey Juno is Little Joe. And guess who's left? Adam Oates. That one by Kartalnov is wide. Oates over to get it. And Yake will bring it in front of his own goaltender. Yake clears it up. Petrovisky had it bounce off him. Sweeney lined him up. Petrovisky saw it coming. Ended up halfway in the Bruins bench. 6:34 to go first period. Shaw sends it in.
Don Sweeney is not a big player by National League standards, but pound for pound, one of the strongest players in the National Hockey League.
Conroy. Lemelin to the corner with it. Shaw cutting to the net. No return from Jamie Leach. Jeff Sanderson trying to get in behind. Couldn't. Cleared up. Bruins back the other way. It's Gord Roberts. Bourque. Leach. Bourque cutting. Leach. Bourque. No angle. Bourque was there. Castle's pass blocked. Pietrangelo plays it around to the near side to Leach. Bruins holding it in. Bourque had left the ice on the far side. That's why nobody was there. This will go in on goal. That'll avoid the icing. Shaw clears it up. Leach has it for the Bruins. Run into the zone and on the boards. Zalapsky intercepted, cleared it up. Tipped back up in the air by Sweeney. Sweeney had a pretty good check at center as he took down Nylander. Penalty coming up. They're still getting the sticks up a little bit. Holgar's going to stay away from that. Boston leading it from the Garden. 1-0. 5:37 left to go in the first period. Out of the University of New Hampshire in the U.S. Olympic team, Stevie Leach tripping at 14:23. Hartford couldn't have asked for more chances. They've already had 7 minutes worth of power play opportunities, and they get 2 more coming right here.
And they're being outshot 8-5, so their power play is not doing great things for them today, Gary.
They are 0 for 7 minutes worth of power play. Zalapsky couldn't get it out of the zone. Poulin's offside. Poulin had already come in the zone, but the puck had come outside the line.
You almost think they need one here, or at least a couple of good scoring chances just for a confidence boost. They're only down 1 goal. They're in the Boston Gardens. The Bruins play extremely well in here. They come out in droves. They storm you. The Whalers are only down 1 goal. If they can get one here or go into the dressing room only down 1 goal, they can regroup and come out for a strong 40 minutes to finish the game.
Face-off, Jeff Sanderson won it, but back into his own end. Zalapsky, their leading defensive scorer last season, came from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Intercepted Hines. Pietrangelo did not see that baby coming. Almost hit him right in the mask. The time he saw it, it was there. Sanderson in with Verbeek. Danny Verbeek tied up from behind. Zalapsky, he was trying to pass, had it blocked that time by Shaw. Sweeney behind the net for the Bruins. Murray Craven moves over with Hines. Bounced in the air. Verbeek tried to hold it in, couldn't. Zalapsky back at center. Ray Bourque, as the only goal came in the first minute of this game, his 4th of the year to give the Bruins that 1-0 lead. Charlie Zalapsky, 24 years old, 20 goals last year. Over to Murray Craven. Craven off the boards for Poulin. Poulin dropped it. Verbeek. Poulin in the corner, tied up Donato. Taken away, lost. Backhand shot, Lemelin makes the save. Andrew Castles turned it in. Craven shot back in. Ashton fell down. Craven got it. Craven goes cross ice. Donato is right there to knock it away. Homegrown boy. Donato wearing number 21 of the Boston Bruins. Ted Donato. Bruins have always had the ability to pick up a lot of erstwhile but not exceptional players who come from Boston and have them perform exceptionally well.
They always play a little better than they're going to play anywhere else once they put on the Bruin jersey.
It's amazing how that works. Bruins always have a roster filled with those kinds of players, generally a number of veterans who are pretty long in the tooth for this game, and then 3 or 4 young people. They don't particularly like to have a lot of young players in this Bruins organization at any one time. Burt brings it in. Murphy goes back to get it. Penalty's over. So 9 minutes worth of power play time for the Hartford Whalers. They have nothing to show for it. Credit part of that to the Bruins penalty killing. This will be chased down by Weimer. They've waved off any icing. He gets it up to Murphy, getting some playing time in this game. Gord Murphy. Kartalnov left it. Oates centering. Nobody there. Juno had gotten tied up in the middle, wasn't quite sure where the puck was. Petrovisky left it. Poke checked away. Weimer. Good play. 2-on-1 chance the other way. Now 2-on-2. Kartalnov in. Kartalnov in the middle. Joey Juno. Juno. This line's out there a lot. He gets hooked down. Gets up. Juno save. Penalty coming up on Hartford. Delayed call. Weimer dropped it off. Juno got hooked. Got up. Shot. Save. Kicked out to Yake. There's the whistle. A power play for the Boston Bruins when we come back to the Garden.
Number 1, baby! We also go back to the WHA.
Boston leading at 1-0. Peterson in.
Boston Bruin never say die. Juno gets hooked to the ice, back up, and he gets a real good scoring chance. And again, Garrett Pietrangelo way back in the net, although he makes a good save there. He's not out challenging the shooters.
Really looks unsteady, doesn't he? Just not confident right now in net. So the Bruins get their first power play. You see what they have done on it in the National Hockey League. And Hartford has done a pretty good job killing penalties off. They are 9th best. They've given up only 24 power play goals. The trouble is they've scored only 10. Radzicka trying to bring it in, got knocked down. Rosie Radzicka, who we're not seeing as much of on the ice for Boston this season as we did last year, had a great season last year offensively. Oates, Leach, and Radzicka on the power play unit. Into the corner, Leach. Bart got there first. Leach rammed him, freed it up. Radzicka. Ray Bourque. Bourque and Donato along the line. One-timer Bourque. Drove it right into Andrew Castles. Pietrangelo still open. Rolled by Radzicka. And another penalty coming up with the Hartford Whalers. Castles.
Adam Burt doing a good job in front of his goaltender, moving Steve Leach. They're working extremely hard in front of Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo comes up with a big save. As you see Leach with good body position. Here's Burt finding him, trying to move him. There's the save. Before that, they were both jousting, Gary, going at it very hard. But it does not look good for the Hartford Whalers.
Boston out shooting Hartford 10-6, and now the Hartford Whalers will be down 2, and Paul Holmgren has seen more than this than he wants to with his Hartford team, which is 5-15-1. They lost 6-1 against Montreal on Wednesday, and they come in here in a 2-game losing streak. Castles high sticking at 18:07, 2-man advantage now for Boston. Adam Oates back to Bourque. Deflected. Conroy kicked it. Craven can't get it out. Bourque shot, save, rebound, score! Kartalnov took the original shot, came back out in front of the net. It was empty. Boston power play goal, and it is a 2-0 game. Juno gets it.
Good passing by the Bruins. They take advantage of the Whalers being unable to clear this shot. Craven does a good job of blocking the puck by Bourque, but he can't get it out. There's Bourque from one side to the other. The cross pass, shot off the pass. Pietrangelo can't control the rebound. Again, having trouble with the puck, although he's in motion here from side to side. And there's Juno for the empty netter.
Juno has now tied Teemu Selanne for the lead among rookie scorers overall in the National Hockey League. He came in just 1 point behind. He picks up the goal and gives Boston the lead. The power play continues. That was a 5-on-3 power play goal. Now it's a 5-on-5. Hartford clears. 18-17 on the power play goal. Juno got it. Kartalnov and Bourque. So Bourque already has a 2-point period. Raymond got it up ice to Oates. Oates sending it in around the boards. Conroy cut it off. Juno is there. Kartalnov pokes it away. Held into Donato to Bourque. Minute 8 left in the period. Minute 14 on the power play. Donato to Bourque. Oates. Centered by Kartalnov. Taken by Donato. Bourque. One-timer. Pietrangelo makes the save. You're looking at the time remaining in the period. Pietrangelo, hard shot by Kartalnov.
Good save by Pietrangelo. We've been a little tough on him, but they've only gotten 2 past him. So hopefully he'll get out of this period, and that's all the Bruins will get. His team will settle down and play a little better in front of him.
Juno brings it in. Patty Verbeek intercepts and clears it out of the zone. Juno, 24 years old, played college hockey at RPI. Do you believe you saw an aeronautical engineer score that goal? He earned his degree in 3 years at RPI. And now he's playing in the National Hockey League. He wants to be called Joey. It's Joey. Radzicka to Leach. Tried to roll it into Radzicka. Murphy over to get it. Time and the penalty running here. They clear it out of the zone, and that's the first.
Gary, why does it surprise you that a hockey player would be that intelligent?
It doesn't surprise me at all. It's just that he got that goal so early in the game. That was the whole point.
Okay.
2-0 lead. They are 7-2-2 here at home this season. They've been in the playoffs 25 consecutive years, and certainly looks like they will be there again. Rajon Lemelin starting this afternoon's game. Ray Bourque, we told you at the start of the broadcast, gets involved in a lot of the offense. Those are the shots he had, Jimmy, in that first period.
He's a left-handed shooter, and he's shooting from the right side of the ice, so that puck has a good angle every time he takes a shot. Of course, he did score the 1 goal off the face-off. Bourque had 3 shots that period himself. The Whalers had 6, and 4 of those shots came from defensemen. Zalapsky had 2.
Inside shootout. Pass shot. Save. Pietrangelo. Banged at by Oates. He gets hit by Peterson in behind the net. Oates had it. Lost it. Power play's over. There were 7 seconds remaining on the power play to start the period for the Bruins. That has now ended. So we're at even strength. Ray Bourque. And Pietrangelo will take another face-off. That is not the way he wanted it started. Take a look at our Budweiser scoreboard. Other National Hockey League games that are going on or will be. Philadelphia up in their game against the Islanders. All the rest of the National Hockey League schedule will be tonight, and lots of it.
To finish that thought, Gary, Bork with 3 shots, of course a goal. 6 shots by the Whalers and 4 from their points, so their forwards only mustered 2 shots that entire period. Zalapsky had 2, Conroy had 1, and Ladouceur had 1. The only forwards with a shot were Cassells and Leach. So obviously, if they want to muster any offense at all, their forwards have to get more involved.
That has been the problem this season with this team, trying to do that. Poulin on the draw, lost that one to Murray Craven. Verbeek on the near side for the Hartford Whalers, can't get it out. Behind Donato, held in by Ashton. Ashton sends it in. Donato, Poulin, Roberts, Ashton out there. Cunnyworth intercepts. Cunnyworth in the middle, intended for Verbeek. It'll be picked up by Craven. Craven's pass too late. Donato is right there to take it away. Ashton brings it in. Pietrangelo, a little bit of the blocker on that one. Poulin, Dave Poulin holds it in. Verbeek intercepts. Ladouceur jammed it up on the boards. It rolls to center. Just underway, second period in Boston. There's Ray Bourque taking it back in behind the net. The captain up to Donato. Ray Bourque, 32 years old now, his 14th NHL season, all of them right here. Started out with the Calder Cup Rookie of the Year back in 1980 when he started this game. Played them all in a Boston uniform. Shaw takes it back. Joseph Stumple tied up, tipped away. Verbeek. It stood up by Stumble, played by Don Sweeney. And Sweeney will start it up for the Bruins with Tim Sweeney. Tim Sweeney, save! Pietrangelo hangs on. Ladouceur was down on the ice, flying over him went Steve Leach.
Pietrangelo out square. He seems like he's a little more confident this period. He's out top of the crease. He's square to the shooter, challenging him. The puck hits him in the breadbasket, and he holds on for the faceoff. Well outside, Gary. You see he's well outside of the crease. That's where you have to be. If you know the player doesn't have a lane to pass the puck to, get out. Let the puck hit you. You don't have to make a big save. Get out, take the net away, let the puck hit you, hang on for the faceoff.
Faceoff will come to Pietrangelo's right. On the draw, Jeff Sanderson won it against Stumple. Played up by Huda. Lost it. Castles trying to kick it out of there for the Hartford Whalers. Bruins. Shaw steps up to hold it in. Leach. Sanderson. It is a struggle for the Hartford Whalers to clear that zone. What a hit put on by Don Sweeney on Leach. Boston in their own end. These two rivals really like to go at it physically. Don Sweeney. Pietrangelo watches it go wide. Rolls out of the zone. No icing. Rajon Loveland going back to hold it up behind the net. Hartford Whalers change it up here. 2.5 minutes into the second period. Kartalnov over for Oates. Adam Oates right through the crease. Just bounced it up in the air. Held in. Oates got his own rebound that time. Toward Murphy the shot. Had it blocked out deep. Bounces to center. Andrew Castles was there. Petrovitsky also there to block that shot. Zarley Zalapsky's not going to get there first. Kartalnov centered. Oates just missed. Juno again. Juno, another scoring opportunity in front. Kartalnov. You see why this line scores. Kartalnov centered. Had it blocked by Zalapsky. They move the puck in a hurry.
They move the puck, and they're in constant motion themselves. Very difficult to mark. They move the puck, they jump to a hole, they get it back, they move it, they jump to another hole. Constant motion, always buzzing around.
Adam Oates, one of the best assist men in the game. Drops it in front. Murphy tipped it. Kartalnov had it. Juno's got it. Kartalnov can't set it down. What a great chance on the setup, but the puck wouldn't stay down on the ice for him.
Terrific play by Burt. He got a stick on that, Gary, and he deflected it over Juno.
Petrovitsky shot in front of the net, side of the net, and then behind it. Great scoring chance, but he could not convert. Yake, he had it blocked out front. Yake was trying to run it through the defense, and the Bruins are able to clear. Burke sends it back in. Bruins leading it 2-0. Conroy. Boston wants to ice here as they need a line change. They will change it up. It was played by Pietrangelo. Huda. Like Huda, the defenseman. And that's going to be an offside call as it was brought back in by the Bruins.
He meant mentioned how hard the Whalers are working in their own zone just to get on the attack. When you expend that much energy, by the time you get down to the offensive zone, you don't have much juice left to muster any kind of an attack. So they're wasting their energy getting the puck out. They get it down, they dump it in, and they want to make a line change.
By the time they get it out, it is time for a line change. So you never get any offense mounted. Boston took the series last year between these two teams, winning 6, losing 1, and tying 1. Boston has won the series for the last 5 years, and boy, there's a penalty. There was absolutely no question. Nick Kypreos just reached out and hauled him down. Boston will get a power play when we come back. Kypreos will go on the holding call. 15:50 to go in the second.
An unnecessary penalty by Nick Kypreos. He's with his check as the Bruins come over the line, but instead of taking the extra stride, he just reaches out, trips him. You mentioned earlier, Gary, that the Whalers have been penalized 29.7 minutes on the average per game. That's another reason they can't get any offensive flow going.
Can't do that when you're shorthanded all that time. Kypreos holding, 4-10. Boston goes back on the power play. They had 1 power play goal in a 5-on-3 setting earlier. Ted Donato working a point here with Ray Bourque, who held it in. Leach, Peterson, Zalewski there. Oates knocks it away. Adam Oates trying to center, got it there. Shot, save on Ruzicka. Ray Bourque. And it was blocked by Peterson. Peterson doesn't have a stick, gets one. The defenseman took the forward stick. Ray Bourque centering, shot blocked by Peterson. If Peterson hadn't gotten that stick from Craven, that shot goes through. That's why the forward always gives it up to the defenseman who's playing back. Now Castles gets into it. Steve Leach taking a couple of shots. There was an original penalty called on someone before the punches started flying. That is Leach of Boston being held away by Pierre Champoux.
Gary, I think Leach and Zalewski were going at it. They were going to get minors. And Jansen's, I believe it is, jumped in, came to Zalewski's rescue. And now probably the Whalers will get an extra 2 minutes out of this unless Leach gets 4 minutes. 2 for the incident with Zalewski and another 2 for his jostling with Jansen. So we'll wait and see as Hogarth makes the calls here. Before that, Peterson, a very courageous block on a Ray Bourque shot. He had no stick, and you know when Bourque's firing, it's coming 100 miles an hour. Peterson gave up himself, down he went, and made a tremendous block for his hockey team.
Now you see there, Peterson has lost his stick, number 41, but he's a defenseman. So when he goes back out, Murray Craven says, here, take mine.
There's the block by Bourque, and now Craven gives him a stick, and then he's able to block that pass a little later on, and again prevent another Bruin scoring chance. 1:21 remaining on the initial power play here for Boston. Paul Holmgren waiting to see what is going to be called on his team as Zalewski and Jansen's both go to the penalty box. Boston's going to have at least the power play to continue. Leach and Zalewski in front of the net, vying for body position. Little push here, a little shove there. In comes Jansen's. And they wind up in the penalty box.
Jansen's really moved in late on that one. That's certainly good for the extra call, and that's what Ron Hogarth made. So the Bruins are going to have a 2-man advantage again. The penalties, Jansen gets 2 for roughing. Leach gets 2 for high sticking, and Zalewski gets 2 for a high sticking as well. There's our Budweiser scoreboard. A lot of games in the National Hockey League on this day after. Most of them, as you see, being played tonight. And there is Steve Leach. Murray Craven over to argue with Hogarth about the calls because there's going to be the added 2, but that certainly is appropriate in light of Jansen's moving in late as he did. That'll be tough for the veteran Murray Craven. It's tough for all these players, but here's a 11-year, 28-year-old veteran who's been with Detroit, Philadelphia, now on a club that's just struggling to stay in games.
It's an overworked term, but he's one of the classiest guys in the game. He gives you an honest effort, game in, game out. He's a pleasure to coach.
This is the second 5-on-3 the Bruins have had. They converted in the first period. Bourque over to Ted Donato. They got Bork on one side, right there, flying. Save made. Pietrangelo. Rebound is loose. Pietrangelo covers. Hogarth lost sight of it. Fans on Hogarth for blowing the whistle, but he was on the near side. He was screened by the goaltender, and he just lost sight of it. There's Dmitry Kartalnov. 13 goals, 12 assists, third leading scorer behind Oates and Juneau.
Bruins with good puck movement. There's no rush. You have a 5-on-3. They like to set up Bork for the one-timer. He gets rid of it so quickly and so accurately. Every time it's on a stick in the power play, it seems to be a scoring chance for the Bruins.
He's 26 years old. He played for San Diego in the independent team, the Gulls, last year. And then came over to the Bruins. Donato. Looking down low. Ray Bork again. Save. Rebound loose. Clipped in. Rebound for Zitska. Power play goal. It will count. And there's one mad goaltender getting up out of the net.
Pietrangelo feels he was interfered with when Oates went into the net, but Ladouceur was there helping Oates into the net. A legitimate goal. Ruzicka with good composure with that puck. He didn't panic. He took the first shot. There's a rebound, but he waited, and put it upstairs. Again, it's Bork shooting off the pass. Ladouceur pushing Oates into the goaltender, no question about that. Ruzicka takes his time, rifles it up. And our cameraman in the sky, that's a tough job being up there, Gary, holding that camera for the whole game. But he gives us great shots like this, and that was a good goal for the Bruins.
Rosie Ruzicka. It's a power play goal, another 5-on-3 goal. Ruzicka's got 10 goals on the year now, and 4 of them have come off the power play. And the power play will continue for the Boston Bruins. They've still got 1:35 on that second penalty. Bruins have taken a 3-0 lead. Bork and Donato get the assist. Ray Bork has a goal and 2 assists now in this game, adding 3 to his total. Kartalnov sends it in. Adam Oates centering pass intercepted by Craven. Batted up in the air by Bork. Castles. Short-handed. Hartford Whalers now finding themselves down 3-0. Boston Bruins averaging 4.2 goals a game this season. They're 12th in the National Hockey League in offense. Oates in behind the net. Leach got it around the boards. Not out though. Verbeek could not clear. Boston on a power play still. Ray Bork. Kartalnov. Oates in front of the net. Bork. 47 left on the power play. Kartalnov heads to the net. He is just behind him. Centering pass just missed by Ruzicka. Nylander short-handed. Save made by Lemelin. The shots in this game are now 23-10 in favor of Boston. Nylander had the second short-handed chance. Ruzicka worked it behind the net. And Ruzicka almost. He was trying to break Kartalnov, who had the step. Ray Bork takes it back. Kartalnov on the near side over to Ruzicka. Ruzicka has already got a goal on one of these power play chances. Stayed out. Drops it for Don Sweeney. Sweeney with room. Sweeney. Boston's got everybody down low. Only one man back. And the penalties are over. We're back to even strength. Shaw. Pietrangelo. It bounced underneath the glove, and he hung on long enough with Oates down behind him in the crease.
Gary, the Whalers have not won a game this season when they've gone into the third period trailing. With 13 minutes left in this period and a 3-0 Bruin lead, it doesn't look good for them.
Stumple banged it away to center. We're at even strength now. Juneau got it in. Knocked away. Don Sweeney along the line. Leach has it. Leach coming. Leach, Sanderson, and Cunnyworth. Leach just lost it right between the legs. Cleared up and into the seats. From the Boston Garden, the Bruins, with 2 power play goals, have a 3-0 lead. In order to score, obviously, you got to shoot. One of the problems for Hartford, they've not been able to get the shots on goal. Take a look at the shot comparison, both today and for the season.
That's why the Whalers have only scored 2.6 goals per game, and the Bruins have scored 4.2 goals per game.
Boston Bruins this season have been outshot at a game only once, and it was their last game against Washington when they lost 6-2. It's a pretty amazing accomplishment quarter of the way into the season to have only one game where you have been outshot. Veteran Dave Poulin, we're talking about veterans. There's another one that Boston's picked up and kind of rejuvenated a career.
He missed a lot of last year with an injury, and he's played very inspired hockey for the Bruins this year. He's an excellent penalty killer, an excellent checker against the big forward on another team, a high scorer. A great guy to have in your team, especially come playoff time. So they want to make sure he stays healthy this year.
He's working with Ashton and Leach on a line right now. Leach going into the corner with Peterson. They just stood the puck up on each other. Michael Nylander, rookie, gets it up to Yake. Backed away, center ice. Here comes Poulin. Pietrangelo the save. Ashton hauled down from behind. Good play by Zalapsky, and he got away with a little hook there. Nylander leaves it for Zalapsky. Hook checked away by Leach to Poulin. Poulin drops it to Roberts. Roberts, the defenseman, hooked by Nylander. See, earlier in the season, what Nylander did right there, that little hook would have been a penalty. We're no longer seeing the high sticking, the hook calls every time around. They are much less aggressive in calling those quarter of the way through the year.
Which we thought would happen. It hasn't hurt the game yet. We just hope that no players get injured by it.
The league hopes by starting out at least calling them all. They've gotten the sticks down a little bit. Huda sent it in. Chased down by Murphy. He goes far side for Poulin. Boston wants to change up if they can get it out of the zone. They can't. Diving play made by Huda that time, but to no avail. Leach ahead to Poulin. Third time up ice in this shift for him, and a penalty and a fight going on again at the side of the bench. Is that Jansen's again?
Yeah, Jansen's, and I believe Donato. I couldn't see the Bruins sweater as they went to the ice, but I'm quite sure it is Jansen's. He must have got some bad turkey yesterday, Thorne. He's been in a pretty bad mood.
He's not been a happy player out there. He came in with 62 penalty minutes. Tied for second on the Hartford Whalers team in penalty minutes. They're led by Nick Kypreos. Well, they were led by Kypreos. Jansen's has taken over the penalty minute lead for the team with his actions in this game.
That was Leach, and that's who he had the altercation with in front of the net when Leach was roughing with Zalapsky. So it's just I won't get you now, but I'll get you later.
They will both head off. We'll see whether or not. Looks like they're going to call roughing minors instead of fighting here. Hogarth feeling there weren't quite enough fists thrown here.
Leach gets rid of the puck. He's going to make a change, but Jansen says, I'm in the vicinity. I might as well finish my check on you. So push comes to shove, sticks get up, and they'll cool off for the next couple of minutes.
And he went after him, too. He took a good glide to get there, didn't he? Jansen's
He didn't go out of his way not to get him, that's for sure.
There's a coach's answer. He didn't go out of his way not to get him. Gotta frame that in another light. Speaking of coaches, there's one of the Sutter brothers right there. Alberta's family watching him today.
He won the Jack Adams Trophy as the NHL Coach of the Year in 1991. And he is a very much a Bruin-type coach.
7 Sutter sons, 6 of them played National Hockey League. They're all over the place coaching and playing now. And Gary, the only smart one, is in business. Brought in by Hines. Hines takes the shot, had it blocked. Donato the rebound. Donato centers. Bruins were changing. Murphy the shot. Pietrangelo. Hines saw the puck. Donato whacked it wide. Donato out of nowhere. Stevie Hines just wraps it down deep. Another one of those grinders. Hines is a rookie. Donato's a rookie. Joseph Stumple playing today is a rookie. Juno's still a rookie. All playing for the Bruins.
Pietrangelo doing a much better job of challenging the shooters this period. He's well out of the crease. He's confident. And these goaltenders for the Whalers, I mean, they're shell-shocked. They've been outshot in almost every game they played this season. They've been outscored by 4 or more goals, I believe, 8 times. When you put on the pads with a blue sweater, you know you're in for a busy night. And Burke and Pietrangelo know that whoever gets the call, they're going to have to make a lot of key saves to give their team any opportunity at all to win a hockey game.
True in this game, too. David Shaw gets called. He was hooking on his way down ice, so Shaw, the 9-year veteran, is out of there, and there'll be another power play chance coming up here for the Hartford Whalers. Interference call on Shaw, so he leaves at 9:45, and the Hartford Whalers, who have not been able to convert on the power play chances, including a 5-minute chance in the first period. We'll try again.
Special team ratio is an area the Bruins have to improve upon if they want to be considered as serious Stanley Cup contenders. Middle of the pack is not good enough in the National Hockey League. If you want to go to the Cup, you've got to be at least in the top third.
Bruins went there last year, lost to Pittsburgh in 4 straight. I'll tell you something, they get there all the time. 5 Stanley Cups in their 69-year history. Craven chasing it down. Adam Oates is there with him. Again, the Bruins short-handed, putting the heat on. Poulin knocked it away. Leach will pick it up on the far side. Hartford has given up 6 short-handed goals this year. The Bruins have scored 4. Keep that in mind, the way the Bruins have dominated when they've been short-handed. Comes around to Jeff Sanderson on the near side. Craven at a point, challenged by Oates. Able to keep it into Andrew Castles. Craven, Castles. Bruins stay back. Sanderson. They've got Leach in front of the net. Jamie Leach. Zalewski. Craven scores! Right straight through. Lemelin saw that. That's what's called a bad goal, and he knows it. Power play goal, 3-1.
It may have been tipped by his defenseman, Gord Roberts. We'll take a look in the replay. Roberts in good position. He's keeping the Whalers to the outside so that Lemelin can see the shot from the point, but he may have gotten his own stick on the puck. As Oates goes out to the point, it's redirected, yes, by Roberts. And I don't know if that's Roberts' first of the year, but he didn't put his arms up in the air.
Reggie, I take it back. It's not a bad goal on your part. You were lined up, and usually defensemen just raise their stick up to make sure they don't touch it.
Well, it's a situation of a player being in the right place at the wrong time. It just goes off his toe. He's trying to get his stick out of the way, just enough to beat Lemelin.
That was a perfect tip.
Yeah, it was a good tip.
So Murray Craven, who took the shot, gets his 9th goal of the season. 4 of them have been on the power play. 10:41. Zalewski. Well, they've given an assist, but I don't know why, because that usually you don't give an assist if it goes off the defenseman's stick and into the net. You only give the goal, but they've given one to Zalewski. Zarley will take it. Cleared out of the zone. So it's a 3-1 game. Hartford's back in it. Petrovitsky, the shot, save, rebound, score! And it will count! The Hartford Whalers, Michael Nylander, has made it a 3-2 game.
The Bruins make a bad pinch. They're outnumbered in the neutral zone. A 3-on-1. They continue to drive to the net. Lemelin makes the initial save, but he can't control the rebound. That power play goal has the Hartford Whalers right back in the game. You know they're feeling good about themselves. The very next shift they come out and they score another one on a rebound. We've got ourselves a hockey game here.
That is his first National Hockey League goal. He went back, picked up the puck.
Did he touch it?
He's going to take the puck anyway.
Yes.
Michael Nylander gets his first NHL goal. He's 20 years old, out of Sweden. And he has made this a 1-goal game, and suddenly this Bruins dominance has disappeared. Burke dumped it into the zone. Murray Craven on the near side. Verbeek couldn't get it. Sweeney to Juno. Juno with Kartalnov. Kartalnov missed the short side. His stick was picked up by Ladouceur. Cunnyworth held it into Ladouceur. Back for Cunnyworth, and he clears it out of the zone. Sweeney back. So 2 quick goals by the Hartford Whalers at 10:41 and 11:10. Craven and Nylander getting the goals for Hartford, and it's only a 1-goal differential.
Gary, the Whalers battle back to make it a 3-2 game. They've got some offensive flow going for the first time in the game. Randy Cunnyworth takes a bad penalty. I know Paul Holmgren wants his team to be aggressive, but you have to play intelligently aggressive hockey. And that's just not a good play by a pretty good player, Randy Cunnyworth.
Boy, that is the pits right there, isn't it? Picks it up at 11:25 for elbowing Cunnyworth. The Boston Bruins go back on the power play here. The Bruins already have 2 power play goals. Both of them have been 5-on-3 situations. Donato, Juno, Kartalnov, Craven takes it away and will clear. 7:57 to go in the second period. We told you these teams love to play 1-goal games. That's generally the way it is. It still may not end that way today, but Hartford certainly made it interesting and quieted the Garden crowd. Donato brings it in. Donato working with Bork in this power play. Donato, 4 years at Harvard University. Another one of the Boston natives, played on the U.S. Olympic team. Batted into the corner, centered for Oates, blocked by Zalapsky, and cleared by Peterson.
The Bruins have a fault on the power play, Gary. It's trying to be too precise down low. Take that shot and let someone put the rebound in.
Especially the way they pass, huh? Kartalnov back up to Donato. He misses Juno. Kartalnov bounces it over to Juno. Juno, Kartalnov, and Oates. The Bonanza line on the power play. Donato, 48 left on the power play. Bork. It's Oates. Kartalnov knocked it down. Got knocked down by Peterson, who flips his stick up in the air. Fans react to that. Kartalnov had lost his stick. Peterson reached in and flipped it about 14 feet up in the air. That can be a penalty if the referee is so inclined. Oates really didn't affect the play, though, as after the puck had been cleared out. Huda can't get it by Bork. Kartalnov still in. 13 left in the power play. Huda. Rosie Radzicka. He's got a power play goal. Adam Oates. Bork cutting in. He had snuck by everybody. Power play is over. Even strength. Radzicka. Pietrangelo in trouble. Kartalnov scores! Oh, what a move! Dmitry Kartalnov!
Absolutely spectacular. He pounces on that puck and puts 3 great moves. Boom, boom, boom. And he beats Pietrangelo on the short side. A spectacular goal. Spectacular goal. Bruins moving the puck. Ruzicka just flips it to the net. There's the tip. Now here comes Kartalnov. Boom, inside, outside. He gets Pietrangelo moving. But again, we mentioned, Garrett, get that puck to the net. You get it to the net, good things happen. There's the tip by Oates. Now the Whalers are outbalanced. They're outnumbered. Kartalnov, good moves to get Pietrangelo to move off the post.
You go to your videotape library and look for the definition of stick handling in a phone booth. That's the play you're going to see right there. Block behind the net, centered. Janssens plays it to the boys. Don't forget, even though that's an even strength goal, that goal was created by the bad penalty that Pennyworth took.
Absolutely right.
4-2. Shot by Hines. Pietrangelo the save. Players down all over the ice here. Picked up by Don Sweeney. So the Bruins get back to a 2-goal differential. Shaw hit by Burt. Burt hit by the puck. And Burt will bring it out. Kartalnov at 13.50 gets his 14th of the year. Rosie Radzicka picking up the assist. Pietrangelo knocked it away to Ladasseur. 4-2, Boston leading. Cleared in by Poulin. And Hartford will change it up. Again, as Jim pointed out earlier, change it up when you get it in the offensive zone. That's half of Hartford's game. That results in not much for shots. Intended for Leach. Bounces up over the glass. Shots are 29-13 in favor of Boston. And the score is to their advantage too.
Bruins fans call the Bruins all year on.
Brian Sutter now with a 4-year contract, $1.2 million a year. It's the longest and most expensive contract a coach in Boston has ever had. They aren't known for giving up long-term deals behind the bench in Boston. Sutter got one time in McVee's his assistant, just the two of them working.
My phone must have been off the hook that day.
I wasn't going to tell you that, but they said, you know, 3 times they tried and that they knew they had the right number, but they just got the beep.
But if I was there, I couldn't be here with you.
There you go. What's 1.2 million compared to me? Well, 1.2 million. Zalapsky in behind the net, tied up. Boston putting the heat on. Sweeney tried to cut in, and it raked away from him that time by Jamie Leach. Leach brings it up. Leach in with Sanderson. Leach dropped it off, nobody there. Castle's chasing it down. Sweeney can't get it out. Conroy held it in. Behind the net, Leach. Ouch. squeeze put on, and we're going to get a penalty coming up, and it's going to be, I believe, an elbowing call on Leach.
I don't know, Gary. I think it might go to Murphy.
I hope so.
was being checked.
Leach is the one who got pinned in.
By two Whalers. Leach came in, and Murphy saw him coming, and at the last minute, he put a pretty good elbow right into his face. And they sting you. Get it right on the end of the nose. Your eyes water.
Hogarth went to Leach and thought he was calling the penalty on him, but he wanted to see if he got cut.
Exactly.
He would like a new nose. Put it on Santa's wish list. Jamie Leach over there says, I'm all right. Murphy called for elbowing of Boston, 15:59.
You mentioned Sutter's contract. Harry Stinna took over the Bruins in 1966, and he took the team from 5th place to 6th in a 6-team league. He told me, he said, I would have been fired, but I signed a 2-year deal. And in those days, they didn't pay people to sit around, and the rest is history. Went on, made the playoffs, and won their cup in 70.
That's right. Power play, Andrew Castles, and it's deflected to center ice by Poulin. Now in New York, when they talk about Roger Nielsen's extension of his contract, an official of the Rangers was quoted as saying, that only means he's going to get paid. I think it's a little ugly. Patty Verbeek behind the net. Power play, Hartford. They're down 4-2 with 3:30 to go in the period. Craven, Verbeek. Great pass. Sanderson hit the outside of the net. Patty Verbeek set up Jeff Sanderson perfectly. They had Lemelin on the other side, and he missed it.
Look what that power play goal has done for them. How much more confidence they have moving the puck around. Great to see. Absolutely great to see.
Sanderson with another shot. He missed that one on the far side, too. Sanderson's only 20 years old. Comes out of the Northwest Territories. Played hockey at Moose Jaw, one of my favorite places. Moose Jaw and Yellowknife. Two gorgeous places up around the bay. Craven drops it off to Zalapsky. Zarley Zalapsky up for Terry Yake. 45 left on the power play. Craven's got to come back to pick it up. Boston penalty killers lining up along the blue line that time. Yake cutting on the near side. The bounce pass to him hits the back of the net. Sweeney, Yake. Yake freed it up. Power play still underway. 30 seconds. Craven. Shot Zalapsky. He's got a good shot. Zalapsky holds it in. Lemelin made that save. Zalapsky cuts to the net. Back to him. Zalapsky shot. Score! Zarley Zalapsky put it through a screen. Power play goal, and it's a 1-goal game again.
2 power play goals for the Whalers. Paul Holmgren has to feel very good about that. Good puck movement. Zalapsky's involved today. He's had some altercations in front of his net. You see him coming in here. He continues to drive. A nice pass here, and he just snaps the puck past Lemelin. Lemelin can't see it. You've got Shaw in front, jousting for position, and he just can't see the puck here. But Zalapsky wastes no time. He picks the long side, top corner, and the Whalers are right back in it, and they are really carrying the play a little bit to the Bruins now, Gary.
Robert Pavelski made that nice pass. Petrovitsky put it right on the stick. Zalapsky's got 3 goals, 2 of them power play goals. Petrovitsky will pick up the assists on it, and for the second time in this game, the Hartford Whalers have made it a 1-goal game. These teams playing back-to-back games. They're playing Hartford tomorrow night. Rather than what we're seeing in this game, Hartford will have an interesting show to watch tomorrow because it's been on friendly at best in this one. Ray Bourque flipped in by Adam Oates. And at 55 to go here in the second period. Up for Kyprios, held in Roberts. Oates drops it to the corner. Now flips it wide side. And it could have been played, so they'll wave off the icing. Reggie Lemelin leaves it for Gord Roberts. Roberts, one of the Bruins defensemen, not playing a lot this season, but with Wesley out of there, he's getting a shot here today, and then Wesley day to day, and he'll know hopefully today whether he has a broken foot or not, what the extent of the injury is. Icing on the touch-up by Bourque, minute 24 left.
When you look at this Whaler team, in essence, they're an expansion team, Gary. They have a good young nucleus. In the last 5 or 6 years, they have chinked lower and lower and lower in the standings. So Paul Holmgren has to do a rebuilding job with Brian Burke. I think they realize that. I don't think they're looking to make the playoffs this year. Sure, they'd like to, but I think they're looking at this team as a team with a good nucleus that we can build on. And Holmgren may be the right guy for the job. He played the game fiery. He was a tough guy. But Murray Craven said he's a very thoughtful, methodical coach. He doesn't do anything with high emotion. Sometimes he might need a little more, he's going to burst, but he's not one to rant and rave. He's one to show good patience with a young team.
They made that very clear that they're going in that direction, Jim, when they got rid of John Cullen. Cullen, of course, this week picked up their second round choice. Their leading scorer last year, gone. With a $1.2 million contract, they're cutting the payroll and they're going to the youth movement. Sent in by Castles, 1:07 left to go. Ray Bourque has had a goal and a couple of assists in this game. Gino, Rudziczka, and Partalnov have the goals for Boston. They've been answered by Craven, Nylander, and Zalapsky for the Hartford Whalers. Adam Burt, Rajon Lemelin knocked it away. 48 seconds left to go here in the period. And Hartford is not disdained from hitting. They are running around at people right now. Poulin sends it in. Ladouceur tied up Leach. Leach centered it. Knocked away. Pennyworth. 34 seconds in the period. Poulin wants a penalty. Too many on the ice. And a save's made. Now we got a fight behind the play. Leach for the third time is in fisticuffs. This time it's Randy Ladouceur of Hartford. Stevie Leach got to be, hey, what's the matter? I'm a pretty good guy.
What did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong?
Well, there has been no lack of intensity in this contest today. The Bruins dominated the first period. The Whalers have fought back, but along the way, the Whalers have taken every opportunity they can to play a physical game. And what happens when you play a physical game against a team that asks no quarter, gives no quarter, push comes to shove, and you get some fights.
Bench is talking to each other too here, and Ladouceur is going to get out of there before he gets in any more trouble, and so is Leach, who heads his way off here with only 29 seconds left.
The Whalers could use some production from that young man right there, Gary. Pat Verbeek has scored over 40 goals twice in his career. He's a very fiery, fierce competitor, but his offensive production has really tailed off since going to Hartford. The first year he did extremely well. This year he's had another slow start. He's a hard-working hockey player. You like to see a guy like Verbeek excel. As this team gets better, I think he's going to play an integral part in the growth of the Whalers. Another guy, good Whaler, and he's probably had as much ice time tonight as Ray Bourque, is Murray Craven.
Yeah.
He's been killing penalties. He's been on the point in the power play. He's been out for critical face-offs. You look for leadership in a young team. Guys like Verbeek and Craven have to provide that leadership, and I think it's a pretty good direction to look in if you're looking for those two fellas.
Now, there were too many men on the ice for the Hartford Whalers before the fisticuffs started. So they're going to pick up a bench minor and give Boston another power play here. 5 for fighting on Ladouceur and Leach at 19:30, and too many men on the ice at 19:30. Dave Poulin called that penalty for Boston. He was going up ice, and he said, count him, count him. And the linesman counted him, and that's when they found out they had too many on the ice.
Well, Poulin's lucky that he got to a linesman that could count past 5.
Oh, my God.
Just kidding, just kidding.
That was the analyst, not the play-by-play guy. I disdain from that. Bourque takes it back in the red lines, and now the sticks get up. Murphy's going to be called for interference as he took down Verbeek. He was trying to set a pick for Ray Bourque to go by, and in doing so, he interfered. So with 7 seconds left, Murphy takes the interference call.
I think Pat Verbeek may have helped that call a little bit. We'll see here. There's Verbeek with Murphy. The stick's in there. Yeah. Someone either shot Patty or Patty pulled himself down, but I don't think it was Murphy's effort that threw him to the ice without much force.
7 seconds left to go. Boston loses a minute 38 on that power play. Coming up during our intermission, we'll have the plays of the week, as well as a look at what's going on around the National Hockey League today. One other game this afternoon, and all the games that will be coming up tonight. That's during our second intermission. Interference on Murphy, 1953. The time of the call, so we'll skate in the 4-on-4. New rules this season. And when you get the coincidentals, you end up with a 4-on-4. And when you have a situation like this, one guy already in and another penalty, you go 4-on-4. And that's how we're going to start third period. We've completed 2 here in Boston. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld, great to have you with us. Whistle had been blown before the puck went in. So Pietrangelo was arguing he had heard a whistle. And even though Boston still had control of the puck, Ron Hogarth had blown the whistle. Hartford heard it, and he knew he'd blown it. There's no goal.
Well, then I apologize. Maybe that's why he was slower going from post to post. Yeah, he probably just let up that half second.
That's probably exactly what happened. See if you can hear the whistle while you watch the replay here. That was after.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the puck was in. Definitely a goal for the Bruins, but they have a power play, so another opportunity to get a 2-goal lead here on the Whalers. Seems the Whalers have been killing penalties an awful lot this third period.
And
you can't win games if you're in the penalty box all the time.
Castles is in there now on the elbowing call. Power play. Oates. Pietrangelo. There's the puck. There's the whistle. There had not been a whistle till right then. A minute 49 on this Boston power play. Murphy out working on it with 8:25 to go in the game. This game is up for grabs.
Gary, the Bruins have averaged in the shot department 12 shots per game more than their opponents this year. And they're off to the same margin again today. Plus, Pietrangelo, after a shaky first period, has played extremely well for the Whalers.
Over to Murphy. Hartford, Bork. Deflected out deep. Out. Mark Janssens went down and blocked that. In the middle of Kartalnoff, intercepted, short-handed, Murray Craven. Lemelin came out to the bottom of the circle and made the save.
Did you see Lemelin come way out there and challenge? Just comes out, gets his pad square, and allows the puck to hit him. Good goaltending by Reggie Lemelin.
Ladouceur, Craven takes it back into his own end. A minute 13 remaining on this power play. Pennyworth lets it go. Ray Bork's going to chase it down. Ray Bork. Murphy. Near side Conroy. Kartalnoff got a piece. Bork got a piece, but not enough. Pennyworth jammed it out. The rebound almost went behind Lemelin. Rosie Radzicka with forechecking by Jeff Sanderson right there. Sanderson intercepted it. Couldn't control it. Bork got it. Radzicka. 4-3 Boston lead. Third period. Kartalnoff blocked by Huda. Bork off the dasher. Radzicka can't play it. Huda. Pennyworth. And it's out of the zone, and a penalty coming up on Boston. Delayed call here on the far side. Gord Roberts is going to be called, and it'll be a Hartford power play in 25 seconds. 4-3 Boston. And we're back to a 4-on-4, and then the Bruins will be shorthanded, barring any other penalties here. Face-off, one back in behind the net by the Bruins. 4-on-4. Cleared up by Don Sweeney. And it'll be Burt going back on the touch-up, and that'll be an icing call. Adam Burt gets there. 6:50 left to go here in the third period. Adam Burt sees a lot of ice time out there. They're not deep on defense.
These teams do it again tomorrow night in Hartford, Gary. They're going to be a couple of tired hockey teams. They played a very physical game today. A lot of hitting, a lot of grinding, grabbing, getting a guy, holding him down. Both teams have made the other team work for every inch of the ice. Nothing has been free in today's game, and they'll need a good rest after this one and go back, do some more battle in Hartford. Should be another good game tomorrow night.
You have played here, Jim. It is one hot building, and it is hot in here today.
It's hot today because it's warm outside, but you play here in February, you're playing, you're sweating, your feet can get cold on the ice sometimes, so the Gardens is not always that warm. I think the outside temperature dictates what goes on inside more than any air conditioning or heating they may have.
There's rarely any middle ground here. Hines held off by Craven. Power play now for the Hartford Whalers. Castles has it. Hartford's got a power play. They are down by a goal. Craven lost control. Shaw clears it out. Hartford Whalers, couple of power play goals in 5 power play chances. They did not convert on a 5-minute power play in the first period. Lemelin lets it go by, then had to play it. Donato, Ray Bork.
That was a real heads-up play by Murray Craven. He had the puck, he knew it was going to be icing, but he thought that the Whaler forward had a step in the Bruin, would beat him to it. Unfortunately for Craven and the Whalers, the puck didn't take a great bounce off the boards.
Petrovitsky down the middle, ran it in. Leach tried to get it. Lemelin reached out and knocked it away from him. Reggie Lemelin's had a strong third period. 37 seconds left on this Hartford power play. Nylander, who's got one. Lemelin left it. Murphy's there. Around for Poulin. Takes a bad hop for Boston. Good hop for Hartford, but Bork's there to clear again. Pietrangelo dumps it off to Zalapski. He couldn't get it by Poulin. Short-handed. Bruins. Hines. Taken out by Craven. Zalapski's got the puck. 8 seconds left on the Hartford power play. Craven looks like he's a little warm right now.
He's trying to get off the ice. He's been on for the entire power play. A forward playing on the point. He knows it's time to make a change, and he is a tired hockey player.
Outstanding play by Shaw. He won that battle. Power plays over even strength. Poulin gets it in. A whistle behind the play. A Hartford player, Nick Kypreos, is down. We'll see whether any penalties come from this. Ron Hogarth says yes. High sticking on Boston.
Retaliation penalties are never good penalties, but especially when you have less than 5 minutes remaining in the third period and you're winning by only 1 goal. Gordy Roberts, whack, stick across the face because Kypreos gave him a good check into the boards. A veteran player should know better. Gordy Roberts does know better and would probably like to have that second back because that could be a costly penalty for the Bruins today.
It'll be a 2-minute minor for high sticking at 15:11. Obviously, if a player gets cut on a high sticking, it's a 5-minute major and an automatic game misconduct. If the high sticking is reckless in the official's judgment, it's a double minor. If it's just accidental, it's the 2 minutes. So this was an accidental high sticking.
Could easily have been a 4-minute penalty.
Yeah,
he probably should have been.
Because it was a retaliatory penalty, as you said. Boston Bruins short-handed. Another chance for Hartford. Try and get this game tied up for the first time. Yake. Craven back out on the ice for Castles and his skates, though. Hines. Stevie Hines, one of the penalty killers now. He runs a regular shift, but he's always out there on the penalty killing unit. Zalapski got it in. Yake couldn't stop it. Hines has it, gets it out of the zone.
Hines and Poulin are a good duo. They really can skate well. They're very quick, good lateral movement. They attack with good angles in the neutral zone.
Stevie Hines, yet another one of those Boston players out of Boston College in the U.S. Olympic team. Yake. Sanderson. Power play, Hartford. Hartford's got 2 in front of the net. Now just 1. Yake. Castles. In the middle. Craven. Good play, Donato. Donato doing a good job in the penalty killing unit. .49 seconds. Petrovitsky leaves it for Zalapski. 3:30 left to go in this third period. Hartford trying to win one here. Gives it up. Poulin had it blocked. Stepping up Shaw. Did not hold it in. David Shaw, 28 years old, 9th season in the National Hockey League, has proven to be a big acquisition for the Boston Bruins. He has really helped out along the blue line.
Dave Poulin has been on for almost this entire penalty kill.
Ray Bork chases it down. 30 seconds left on this power play for the Hartford Whalers. Bork had it come right back at him. Got it, and that one's cleared out of there. Got a little help that time from Dave Poulin, who came in. Boston Celtics play here tonight, so as soon as this game's over, they'll go through that change-it-up drill. Petrovitsky's pass. 9 seconds left on the power play. Bork behind his own net. They'll lay down the parquet floor here for a game tonight, and the penalty's over. Ray Bork sends it up. They'll wave off any icing.
Good heads-up play by the Bruins. They knew there was delayed offside. The Whalers hadn't cleared the zone, so they're gambling. They're waiting. Worst comes to worst. If the Whalers touch it, there's a whistle and a face-off outside the blue line.
Nylander got hit with a high stick. Went by Hogarth. Said, how come no whistle? And headed to the bench. There's Hines doing the bumping. Oh, what a shot he put on Kypreos. Shot on Hines and a save made. Pietrangelo hangs on. But this game is far from over, and those are the kind of feelings you're seeing. Well, can the Hartford Whalers pull this out? They've been behind for the entire game, and they still are now. Arviza storyline in this one from the Boston Garden. Borks had the big three-point game. Bruins had a goal disallowed because the whistle blew before it went in. Whalers, look at that on the power play. What chances they've had. Shots, as usual, Boston with the advantage. 2 minutes and 21 seconds remaining. Played up on the near side to Shaw. Shaw able to hold it in. Adam Oates centered it. Donato was coming through the middle, but he couldn't quite get the stick to tip it. Sanderson says it in. With 2 minutes to go here, the Whalers will go all out to get this game tied up. Which may end up in a couple of breakouts for Boston. No penalty called. Sanderson shrugged his shoulders. Could have been a dive on Hines right there. And there'll be a lot more. There's a penalty on Yake. No call. Shot Sanderson to score! And Boston is going to be furious. Terry Yake coming in a hooking call. It freed the puck up. Hartford's tied at 4-4.
Gary, I'm not one to get down on the officials very often, but that's an obvious penalty call. When you have a penalty that directly results in a scoring chance, you've got to call that. I mean, Hoagie, that's just a bad call. There's no other way to say it. There's no sugarcoating it. A bad call by referee Hogarth.
Oh, that had the Bruin bench up. The game is tied at 4-4 with 1:47. They have littered the ice with paper cups because the call was not made. And Boston, the entire bench came up. We're going to have a delay here, as you can see. This is not an uncommon occurrence, however. 18-13, the time of the goal. Sanderson gets it, and for the first time in this game, Hartford has come back to get it tied. Pietrangelo will go and sit and rest with 1:47 left, tied up. Well, hang on. This game is now really up for grabs, and this is the play that created it, Jim.
We have a good chance of going into overtime because this was not called, and it should have been called a penalty as Yake got the big stick in on Sweeney. The Whalers pounce on the loose puck, and they beat Lemelin to make it a 4-4 game. I tell you what, if I was the referee Hogarth and the Bruins had the puck and they were looking to clear it, I wouldn't want to be standing along the boards because they might try to hit a black and white stripe instead of hitting the smooth board. A real bad call by Hoagie.
Clearly what Ron Hogarth was doing, he had decided, obviously, he was going to let things go. We saw that well before that play. You don't know when letting one go is going to result in a goal. You can't back up on it. He let that one go. And
yeah, but you have to know anything that presents a scoring chance or takes a scoring chance away. They're the ones that are always called, and he failed to call that one.
I bet Philadelphia didn't feel that way because it was a knee. But he'll be back for that one, and we'll have it on December 11th, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. They're still cleaning up the paper cups and other debris thrown out here by the full house. The Boston Garden, their 7th sellout. These fans have littered the parquet floor and the ice here at Boston innumerable times over the years with this great building. Brian Sutter reacted when he came to the front of the bench, but he knew it was over. You can't get it back, so now his job is to get his team ready to play the final 147.
Well, he has an exceptional assistant coach in Tom McVie. I had the good pleasure of being with Tom in New Jersey when I was a coach. He coached our farm team, and he gave me some real good advice, Gary. He told me to stay out of the dressing room after a game. He says if you go in the room and you're going to criticize, you'll criticize too much. If you're going to praise, you'll praise too much. He said things are never as good or as bad as they appear to be when they happen. I think that's great advice for any coach. Sometimes it's good advice for a parent.
Yeah.
But a guy that's as intense as Brian Sutter, to have a veteran like Tom McVie beside him on the bench is a great settling effect for Brian Sutter.
They spend a lot of time over there talking during the game. Well, 1:47. We're delighted to have this one on the air for you. It's a great hockey game. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld here at the Boston Garden, wherever you are, celebrating a Thanksgiving weekend. We hope it's been a good one for you. Want to say hello to Kenny Flager's wife and family there in Phoenix, Arizona. Kenny's the trainer, along with the Boston Bruins, equipment man. and he wanted to say hi to the wife back home. This is her on the holiday. So
is this where we start doing our calling request hellos?
Absolutely. Zarley Zalapski tried to send it up. It ended up on the Boston Bruins bench. Nobody's left the building here, I'll tell you that.
No, I wouldn't want to miss a second of this remaining 1 minute and 43 seconds. I think it's going to have a real good finish to it.
We told you these teams play very tight games. 17 games in the last 5 years decided by 1 goal. 4 overtime games. The average difference of these two teams over the last couple of years, 1.2 goals a game. Roberts back to get it. And credit Hartford. They came out, especially from the second period on, in fact, midway through the first, and they just started using the bottom. They've created the chance to get this game tied for the first time.
It would have been real easy for the Whalers just to fold up and wait for tomorrow night. They're going back home. We'll get it then, guys. They were down 3-0 to the Bruins, and they just kept picking away, and now they've got a chance to win this hockey game.
Juneau's got it. We're even strength here with 1:10 left to go in regulation. Zalapski blocked it. Zalapski didn't get it out of the zone. Now it comes free to the near side to Murray Craven. Craven will flip it. 1 minute left to go in regulation. Ray Boyd chasing it down. Touched up, icing. That's a bad play by Hartford. He didn't intend to send that all the way down. He hoped just to flick it enough so he could get a line change without an icing.
Tomorrow at 7:30 when the Bruins travel to Hartford to meet the Whalers.
Earlier in the period, Boston had what looked like a goal that would put them up by 2. Ron Holgar said the whistle blew before it went in.
Well, there's the second count for the Bruins to be upset. 1 goal there, and the hook on Sweeney. Hoagie might need that honor guard to get him out of the arena. I keep calling him Hoagie. I shouldn't do that, Mr. Hogarth, but I do know Ron personally. He's a pretty good guy. He just happens to have missed a couple of calls in tonight's game.
Timeout will be used here. Each team gets a 30-second timeout. So they'll group with 56.2 left. Hartford has lost 2 games in a row, trying to get out of that here. The Boston Bruins had a win streak before their loss to Washington in their last outing by a score of 6-2. Boston Bruins always tough to beat here. This Hartford knows when they're on the road here in Boston. They're playing in one of the most difficult buildings to win in. Boston 23-11-6 last year at home, 7-2-2 here this year. Oates will be taking the face-off against Murray Craven.
He'll be trying to draw it back to Bourque. Bourque will move the puck in and blast it.
There he is, Ray Bourque. Ray Bourque, save made. Rebound kicked away off the side of the net. So Pietrangelo came up big on Ray Bourque.
Great face-off by Adam Oates. He wanted cleanly to Bourque, exactly what the Bruins wanted to do. Bourque saw there was too much traffic to get the shot through. Made the little fake, went to the outside, and Pietrangelo had to come up with another big save for the Hartford Whalers.
Pietrangelo now has 36 saves on 40 Boston shots.
Here's Bourque coming to the outside. Pietrangelo just stands his ground, stays on his feet, square to the shooter. Gives Bourque nothing to shoot at. Good goaltending.
And held the post on the rebound, too.
You only get burnt once. What is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So he learned his lesson. He got away with a free one on the quick whistle by Hogarth.
Frank Pietrangelo, 1-0 lifetime against Boston. 4-4 game, 40.8 seconds left. Same scenario. Oates will try and draw it back to Bourque. Murray Craven. Zalapski. And a whistle. Another player down.
It's Juneau.
Sticking call. Juneau got hit in the face.
I believe it was Jansen's.
We want to welcome you to the Boston Garden. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld. A wild affair going on here with 35 and 3/10 seconds left. Hartford has come back from a 3-goal deficit in the first period to tie this game at 4-4. Juneau, who you're looking at right there, Joey Juneau, has just been hit with a high stick, caught it in the face on a draw play, and the Hartford Whalers, I believe, are going to be shorthanded. They're still discussing the call here.
Hogarth has checked with his linesmen to see if they saw who hit Junot in the face. I don't believe anyone has seen it because I don't see a Hartford Whaler coming to the penalty box. It happened right off the face-off, Gary. The puck came back to the point, and Junot immediately went to his knees. Here's Junot right in the middle of the screen. You can see Cunningworth trying to get out to the point. There's the stick right there. Randy Cunningworth caught Junot in the head, trying to get past him to get out to Bork, as Oates is trying to win the draw back to Raymond Bork. So it was Cunningworth's stick that hit Junot. I think it was accidental, but they are generally called.
And I think you're right, Jimmy. I don't think anybody saw it. So we'll keep the discussion going. There was a goal, or a potential goal, that would have given Boston a 2-goal lead in this period. It was waved off. They say the whistle blew before the puck went in the net. Listen. That would have put Boston up 5-3. It didn't count. Hartford has come back on a Sanderson goal at 18-13 in this period to tie it. And now it's Hartford's chance to be upset. Hogarth is now calling a penalty.
He's calling Jansen's, and Jansen's was not the player involved. Therefore, they don't know what happened or who did the high stick. They just took a guess, and they feel someone should be penalized. So Mark Jansen's will sit out the next 2 minutes. Good for the Bruins, bad for the Whalers.
Now Hartford points out that Junot has stayed out on the ice, and he can't do that. Junot's supposed to head off to the bench because he'd already gone out and then came back here after a line change.
If the whistle went due to the injury to Junot's face, he has to leave the ice.
He's still there.
Still there.
Paul Holmgren was screaming about it. Power play Boston with 33 seconds left. This is for the game winner. Cleared away to Murray Craven. Craven brings it up. One-on-one with Bork. Dropped it. Offside. And Andrew Castles can't believe it. So a high sticking call picked up by Hartford at 19:24. Jansen's in the penalty box. Has given Boston another power play chance. They've scored 2 power play goals, but the Boston Bruins have had a lot of chances on the power play. 2 for 8 going into this one.
Well, the 2 major performers on the ice again, Bork for the Bruins and Murray Craven for the Hartford Whalers. It'll be interesting to see what kind of a first period these 2 players have tomorrow night, because they have lost an awful lot of ice time in every key situation. Power play, killing penalties, offensive zone faceoffs, defensive zone faceoffs, first minute of the period, last minute of the period. I mean, you talk about key performers. These 2 guys today have been absolutely outstanding for their respective teams.
You see the big advantage Boston's had. They've only been outshot, as we mentioned earlier, once this season. That was their last game against Washington. They are cleaning more materials off the ice. So those of you who joined us late, Boston has had goals by Bork, Junot, Radzicka, and Kartalnov. Hartford, Craven, Nylander, Zalapsky, and then Sanderson here in the 3rd period to tie the game up. 24 3/10 seconds remaining in the 3rd in regulation. Kartalnov dropped it back. Bork's got it. Bork sends it up, tipped in by Adam Oates. Big hooking call by Andrew Castles. No call. He had Junot tied up. Just had the stick right in the old belly button. Near side Bork. Just held it in. Power play Boston. Tipped by Craven way up into the seats. 2.4 left.
This is a good opportunity. Where's the face-off? Inside, just inside the blue line. I was thinking it may have been down at the face-off circle to the left of the goalie, where Sutter could have pulled his goaltender for an extra attacker, but I wouldn't chance it with Craven taking the draw this close to the blue line. So, Gary, looks like we're going into overtime once again.
We are mighty close. Hartford trying to win here for the first time since 1990. They haven't won in the last 8 games they played here against Boston. Adam Oates! Pietrangelo, the glove, and we go into OT. End of regulation at the Garden in Boston. Game tied at 4-4. For the overtime for the Hartford Whalers. And Reggie Lemelin, who started for Boston, stays in as we go to the 5-minute OT. Not unusual for these 2 teams. 4-4 the score. Look at the last few meetings these teams have had. Over the last 9 games, Boston's won 7. 6 decided by 1 goal and 3 in overtime. The first game this year between these two teams was in overtime. Joey Juneau had the overtime goal. Boston won it 3-2 on October 8th. Overtime. Donato. Ted Donato sends it in. Hartford. We mentioned at the start of this game how Hartford wanted to become a more aggressive team. Well, I'll tell you, your new GM Brian Burke's got to like what he has seen if that's the kind of club he wants, because in this game they have been downright nasty. Centering pass, Craven couldn't get it. Power play now is still underway. The penalty carries over into the overtime. Cleared out. So they've got Boston has 48 seconds left on the power play. Bork sends it over. Kartalnov from Juneau couldn't handle it. Adam Oates back for Bork. Ted Donato. Juneau on the near side. Oates for the game winner. Wide. Craven somehow shot that through the pack and out. 25 left on the power play. Both teams change it up. Kartalnov in. Wide by Shaw. Rolled in front, tipped away by Adam Oates. A misplay by Hartford, and they got away with it in their own crease. Sanderson, Shaw there. Kartalnov picks it up, 3 in the power play. Power play's over, even strength. Bork cutting in, couldn't get it. Sanderson, Bork cut him off. Now we're even strength in overtime. Pennyworth offside, a 2-line pass.
You can see the effects of the ice in the passing of the Bruins this late in the game. Their passes are not as crisp because the ice has too much snow. It's a very difficult thing when you're on a power play where you need the puck to lay flat. It certainly plays to the advantage of the checker when you're on a bad ice surface. And the ice has been good, but when you're in overtime, it's going to get snowy, it's going to be chewed up a little bit, and the puck is going to bounce.
It's like Juneau looks chewed up.
Oh,
coming up,
tough game.
College football next. LSU and Arkansas right after this overtime here at the Boston Garden. They're standing by to bring you that one. Over to Conroy. Lemelin, unexpected shot. Oh, what a chance for Terry Yake. He missed the empty net. Yake the rebound. Yake to the point. Huda save. Yes, it ran down his arm. Reggie Lemelin, it ran down his arm. This will be icing. Reggie Lemelin, make a good act of contrition. Give me 10 Our Fathers and 10 Hail Marys.
This young line of Yake, Nylander, and Petrovitsky doing a great job. Here's the point shot. You see Nylander right there. It hits his blade. He keeps the puck out of the net with the blade of his stick. Absolutely sensational concentration by Reggie Lemelin. From up top, you see him ready for the shot. There's the save. The puck's coming up. Watch the blade of his stick. Just keeps the puck out. If that doesn't hit the stick, it bounces on the ice and into the net. The Whalers have their victory. But as it is, we're still tied up, and more great hockey for the next 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
Wow. Unbelievable. 2:54 left in the 5-minute sudden death. Lemelin, 233 career wins, 150 losses, 63 ties in his 15th year. Sellout crowd here at Boston Garden. What a show they have had here today. We're waiting here for some debris to be cleared up at the far end of the ice. That's the wait as you take a look at Dave Poulin.
The Bruins are a remarkable story, Gary. You mentioned earlier 25 straight seasons that they've gone to postseason play. That's a league record. When Harry Sinden took over in '66, we mentioned that. They didn't make the playoffs. The next year they did. They've been in the playoffs ever since. They have never had a season where they did not have a winning record. They've gone to the finals, I believe, 6 times. I mean, this is just one of those franchises. It doesn't matter what style of play they have, how often they turn their players over. They're always a competitive team. There are only 9 players playing for the Bruins now that were on the roster last year for the training camp opening day.
And they're doing this without their best offensive player, probably, in Cam Neely. Football's coming right along. We're in overtime at the Garden, LSU, Arkansas. As soon as we're finished, we'll take you right there. 2:54 left in the OT. Boston able to win the faceoff. Dave Poulin won it. Bourque cleared it out of the zone. Knocked down by Zarley-Zalapski. Intercepted by Oates. Craven rubs him off the play. Cleared ahead by Ladasseur. This is going to be an icing call. This will be a break for Boston. Touched up by Ray Bourque, and the faceoff will come all the way back into that Hartford end. Our storyline here at the Boston Garden today has been a Hartford comeback. They trailed 3-0 into that first period. But after Bourque picked up a goal and a couple of assists, the Bruins had a chance to go up by 2 in the third period and had a goal disallowed because a whistle had blown before it went in. That allowed Sanderson to get that game-tying goal, his 9th of the year. 106 minutes we've had in penalties in this game. They've piled them up. We've had 3 different fights that have broken out here. Lemelin has been hot in net in the third period. He's faced only 26 shots, 41 taken by Boston. Delighted to be with you here in Boston today. Sellout crowd. On the edge of the seat here in this overtime. Nobody can control the faceoff. Zalapski puts the bear hug on Donato. They're going to let him go here. Yates, unless it is really obvious. Craven one-on-one brought back. Murray Craven tried to drop it, overskated, shot, save, Lemelin, rebound comes out. Yake had a second chance to win the game. Yake has had the opportunities at the end of the third period and now in overtime for the Hartford Whalers. Bourque holds it in. Centering pass by Donato, picked up by Terry Yake on the far side. Yake, Donato, great back-checking job. Yake tried to hold it in, but it had come outside the line. And they're too tired to go back at one another. Yake took a little elbow, but he just headed to the bench.
Donato did a good job of coming back. Generally, a forward will leave the attacking forward for his defenseman. Donato turned around. He saw the Whalers were changing. He thought, well, here's a chance where we can outnumber this Hartford puck carrier. He jumped right on him. The play was offside at the blue line. Good aggressive and good stamina play by Donato because he'd gone end-to-end twice, and he's coming back at the end of the shift, and he has enough left in him to do a good back-checking job for the Bruins.
Stayed there with it. Adam Oates. Oates has had a couple of assists in this game. Bourque a goal and 2 assists. Lemelin let it go. Hartford, Sanderson tied up by Sweeney. Sanderson kicking at it. Oates came in to help. Sweeney got it. Up, not out. Shot tipped wide in front by Andrew Castle. Castle's got the stick on that, but tipped it wide. 1:35 in the overtime. Shaw trying to get it out. Kartalnoff at his own blue line. Tipped away by Conroy. He can't find it. Jamie Leach drives it deeper into the zone. Don Sweeney hit by Sanderson. Leach coming over. Kartalnoff. Leach centered it. Castles in the middle, trying to set himself up. Shaw won't let him. Shaw takes him to the boards. 1:13 in overtime. Kartalnoff blocked by Leach right off the side of the net, but Sweeney was there. Good coverage. Good help by Don Sweeney that time of Boston. Both teams getting the line change underway. 1 minute left to go in the overtime. Kartalnoff stripped of it. Juno gets hit in the face again by Janssens again. Cunnyworth sends it in, and now they won't let go of one another. Janssens and Juno right at the red line are still hanging on. And finally they get a whistle.
Gary, Joey Juno has been mugged all day today. He's been cut twice with high sticks. He had a fight with Pat Verbeek, and Verbeek certainly got the better of that altercation. And there, a much bigger Janssens is all over him, but Juno just keeps coming at you. He keeps his legs moving. He keeps driving. He's a typical Boston Bruin. They do not quit.
Look at this.
It's just a mugging. Juno gets his own little glove rub in there. That's a trick. When you're in an altercation like that, you've got the leather glove. It's a little bit dry. You've got where the laces go. And if you can rub that in someone's face, it stings a little bit. It's a little hockey knowledge, Gary. So when you're playing out in the lake this winter, if someone gets a little testy with it, you just get that glove and you rub it right in his face. That was a good example of it by both combatants right there.
They both leave the ice with only 45 seconds left here in the OT, both for roughing. They escort them out. Kickoff underway in Fayetteville. It'll be LSU against Arkansas. No score in that one. We'll have that for you as soon as we're done in this overtime, and only 45 and 5/10 seconds remaining to go in this.
Gary, getting back to that Harry Sinden story, we mentioned that They had gone to the finals 6 times. The Bruins have won 2 cups, 1 under Sinnott. He took a 2-year hiatus where they won a Stanley Cup in '72. But they've won 9 divisional crowns, and they've had 12 100-plus point seasons. And that's why Harry Sinnott is a member of the National Hockey League Hall of Fame.
GM here at Boston. Over the last 5 years, Boston's averaged over 90 points per season. They've always been up among the leading point teams. Ice is cleared again of debris. 2-minute matching minors. Oh, we get to finish this game 4-on-4. Oates will be out to take the face-off against Andrew Castles. Oates wins the draw. 4-4 game in overtime. Seconds ticking, 39 left to go. Oates ahead. Kartalnov, Peterson, Kartalnov. Peterson dumping penalty coming up on Kartalnov. On Peterson, rather. Peterson cannot believe it. Alan Peterson with 31 8/10 left after Ron Hogarth had let so much go. He calls him for hooking and hauling down Kartalnov.
The key to this is that Kartalnov gets good body position on Peterson. We mentioned before, when a player is not that tall and they're skating bent over and a taller player is trying to check him, it's easy to have your weight go over top of them. Peterson is a taller player. He tries to get position here on Kartalnov, but he goes over top. Kartalnov has half a step, and he has no alternative but to get the stick out and try to eliminate his progress to the net. A little too aggressive. Hogarth sees it as a penalty, and for the next 31 seconds, the Bruins have a chance in the power play to win this hockey game.
And because there were already coincidental minors, we will end this game in a 4-on-3 power play.
Right.
31 8/10 left to go. That's what Boston's done on the power play. But note, 18 of their 41 shots have been off the power play. Boston's power play goals picked up by Juno. Ray Bourque has it. And Radzicka had the other. Time running out. Score! Ted Donato! Bruins win!
Gary, the Bruins set up their power play, and time after time, they move the puck to the point or from the sideboards to Ray Bourque for the one-timer. Here's Donato with the puck. Everyone's waiting. I think the entire arena is waiting for this puck to go back over to Bourque. Donato shoots it. He beats Peter Angelo clean, right from the point, top shelf. Looks to Bourque. I'm sorry. He looks to Bourque, lets it go, and it's tipped. Right there, you can see it, tipped by Oates.
Ted Donato is credited with the goal. They may change it later, but Donato's 4th of the year in OT. The Boston Bruins have beaten Hartford 5-4. For Jim Schoenfeld, Gary Thorne, thank you for joining us, everybody. Now let's go to Fayetteville, Arkansas, LSU and Arkansas football. Kevin Harlan, Craig James, and Charlene Hawks sailing